Our digestion does slow down in the wintertime when we don't have as much sunlight helping fuel that metabolism. I think just like first getting in the mindset of, like how can I change my life with the seasons instead of how can I hold on to my routine every single day the same way for the rest of my life until I die? Because I've done that. I've been there.
Hey team, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Wellness Effect. And today we are going to be talking about how syncing your habits, such as your sleep, your food, your movement, and your daily rhythms with the seasons can transform your energy, your hormones, and your overall health. So we thought this was a perfect episode as we start to get into the shorter days and the colder weather of how you can kind of navigate those seasonal transitions and support your circadian health in the meantime. But first, I want to tell you guys about the Morgan Wallen concert because that's what I did and it was freaking awesome.
Looked so
That was
good.
so fun. So me and Zach went to Alberta a couple days before me to like sight in his gun for hunting season and stuff. But I flew in and then we stayed at his brother's house the night before. And then we got ready. The concert started early, which was not ideal. It started at like 4:30. So we were kind of like at the restaurant.
That's the dream.
I know. But get this.
Wait.
Which this was the anti-dream. Morgan Wallen didn't come on till 9:30.
What a
And
loser.
the openers were good. I can't remember their names. Jensen, I think you know who they were. Ella Langley, Miranda Lambert, some other younger guy that was really good. We didn't see him. And so they were all really good. We wanted to see all of them. We actually missed the first two. We got there for Miranda Lambert. She went on at like 5:30.
How was she?
She was really good. But you know when it's the opener, which I always have to remind myself of, is like they have the music quieter, all the lights are on. It's not like a vibe, right? It almost sounded like the radio was just playing. But she was really, really good. And she just has like so many oldies that were awesome. But she only was on for maybe 40 minutes. So then it's like 6:10 and we have like a 2-hour, even almost 3-hour wait till Morgan Wallen came on. And
What?
we were all feeling pretty good. We had a couple drinks and our service was actually, we didn't even really realize it was bad at the restaurant, but I guess she was like falling behind and people were really mad. So people just kept leaving after they ordered drinks. So she just kept like bringing us all these free drinks because she felt bad. And I think people just left them. So Zach was feeling pretty good. By the time Morgan Wallen came on, Zach was like ready to fall asleep in his chair. Like he didn't even stand up once. He's like, oh, I'm tired. I have like pictures of him. His eyes are closed. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, but me and Melissa had a lot of fun and it was really cool because obviously we were in the Commonwealth Stadium. So it's like a massive football arena, holds like 60,000 people full. And his stage was obviously at the one end, but at one point he like walked all the way through like the crowd on the bottom level to the very back. Like if we would have been on the other side of the dome, we would have been like right there. But he had this little tiny stage, like smaller than my office. He couldn't really like move around. He could just stand. And he was literally like touching the people in the first row that are in like the lower bowl. And he like went back there and he sang like 3 of his slower songs. But he pretty much said like one of his parts that he doesn't like about going in big arenas is like he doesn't get to interact with the crowd as much. And so he like went on this tiny little stage that was in the back of the arena and like sung to this one section. And I was just like, oh my God, it was so cool. And it was so good. And then
someone I know was like in that spot because I saw like videos.
Yeah, I seen a couple girls too that I used to work with at Cactus that were like right there, like pretty much like touching him. I'm like, oh my God, that would have been so cool. And so that was really cool. And then the people, like when everyone was arriving, they were handing out those bracelets that all have lights on them. And then the people like control the lights. So they would all be blue and then they would all be purple and then they would all be like flashing and then they'd all be red. And then like half of the stadiums would turn on and then half the other stadiums would turn on. So it's like this epic light show along with the concert. I'm like, I don't know how we ever did concerts without those things. Like I was just like mesmerized by the light show that I was getting. But
cool.
There was lots of fireworks and yeah, it was just overall really, really good. But I was telling Jensen the other day that I was like, I swear I can like teleport into people and like experience the feelings that they're feeling. So I'm like crying. I'm like watching. I'm like, imagine how he's feeling. Cause he's like telling the story about how he like started out in bars and then he went to like small venues, and then he went to ice arenas, and now he's in football stadiums. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like acting as if I'm like Morgan Wallen.
Yes. Oh my God, I do the same thing.
I know. I'm the exact same.
Like, I was telling Jensen too, like when I see someone like recording with their phone, I'm like feeling how they must be feeling. Like, I'm like, oh, they just think this is the best thing ever, that they pulled their phone out and they're taking a video and they're just like having the best day of their life. Like, oh, being an empath. Actually,
I know.
Speaking of that, did you either of you watch Dancing with the Stars last night?
I've watched all the clips because I don't have cable, but I'm literally considering getting cable so I can watch Alex Earl. I'm just so obsessed with her.
I am so obsessed with her. I'm like, Zach, we have to watch Dancing with the Stars. He's like, why? Like, my friend Alex is on it. Like, I'm so obsessed with this like 25-year-old girl that lives in Miami that's just a TikTok influencer. But when she was dancing, I was bawling. Like, I go into Zach was having a bath. I'm just like, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, Alex, she just did so good. And they like showed her parents in the place and they were just cheering. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, Lacey.
I just
like,
think about the fact this girl's life changed by posting on like social media. It's just crazy.
It's just crazy. And she did this funny thing, like the camera like panned to her and she like stuck her tongue out like at the camera. And I'm like, that's totally something that like any of us would have done. Like, it's just a reflex.
Panicked.
Camera comes, you're like, it's just, and even that made me cry. I'm like, oh, she's just so funny and authentic and relatable. Like, I just love her. Oh God. It was bad. I was like literally sobbing, and I'm like half laughing when I'm crying because I'm like, Lacey, this is actually pathetic, but it was funny.
Okay,
Anyways,
think this is what
not to ramble,
me.
but that was my weekend recap.
I think that's what happens to me when I like listen to music. Sorry, I just like had a realization because like whenever we listen to like it's Moana, the Moana soundtrack right now, and it's talking about like the voice inside, and when you find yourself doing something that you love and you're happy, like that's who you are. That's like what the song says. And I'm like singing, but I'm like doing that laugh cry. And Ellie's like, Mom, are you laughing or crying? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like,
oh my God,
so hopeful and like happy and like, oh my God, it's just so funny. That must be what it is. I'm like feeling.
Yeah, it's like empathy, but that always happens to me. And just like gratitude too. And like you think about life and bigger than life. And
so funny.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. I watched a documentary this weekend. Have you guys heard of yes, don't spoil it because a podcast spoiled it for me and I wish I could have watched it without it being spoiled. It's called like Catfish Unknown Number.
No, Unknown Number.
Crazy.
Did you
Have
watch
you guys
it?
both watched it?
Oh yeah, I've watched it.
Did you know when you watched it?
Someone had pretty much told me like it's about a catfish, and I felt really bad for the girl, but they didn't ruin it, but they kind of like alluded, but they did not ruin. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I knew, and it's still like, I was
I don't think I can
still
watch
freaking
it.
blew my mind.
I don't think.
Oh, you got it, Kira.
You can watch it. It is crazy.
The podcast I listened to like basically was like, we're gonna do spoilers for it for the next 20 minutes, so just like be prepared. And then I listened to the whole thing. So I feel like I know what happened and I just don't have any interest in.
I watched it a second time, like really like knowing everything and like picking everything up again because I watched it and then I was like, Matt kind of also knew and I was like, should we even like, do I need to watch it if I've already like, if I know? And I was like, seriously? Yes. And I'll watch it again with you. And the whole time we're like, what the, like even the second time I'm around, I'm like noticing things I didn't before and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's seriously unbelievable. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I have so much to say, but it'll give it away. So
I know. Maybe after you watch it, you can. We can just do a disclaimer.
We'll give everyone a few more weeks to watch it.
Yes.
And
and
then we're spoiling it.
So freaking good.
So fricked up.
I know. I have so much to say, but I'm like, just watch it because it's like, oh my God.
Okay, I want to talk about something cool because I got that brick thing for my phone.
I saw you got that.
Have you guys seen it or heard of it?
I've been getting so many ads.
Just fucking get it. It's honestly already in like a week of having it. I'm like, this is the best money I've ever spent in my whole entire life.
Okay,
so
what is it?
It's a physical magnet. It's like maybe 2 inches by 2 inches. Like it's just a magnet that you put on your phone. And when you buy it, I think it was like $80. You download the app and you get the app for free for life. And what the brick does is basically like locks you out of your phone. So you get to choose. I did like the ultimate whatever one. So once I brick it, I only have access to texting, camera, FaceTime, and phone calls, and like Google Maps or whatever.
But can you just unbrick it?
No, you have to physically touch it. So like when I do my morning routine, I'll like, if I go to the gym, I can just like unlock my phone and go on Instagram, or I drop Ellie off at daycare and then I'm like checking my client messages, and like I just am constantly in every little 3-minute break that I have, even if I'm doing something productive like answering emails or whatever. It's like I'm always going to do something, or even like I go out on the deck and read my book, and I'll like put my book down and just like scroll or whatever. Yeah, now that I have that, I literally, and like even doing our client check-ins, if one's taking a long time to load, I'll literally just like pick up my phone and go on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, this is getting so stupid. So I have it like on the fridge in the garage of our house. So I literally have to like
smart.
walk out there. You can brick it from anywhere. So if you're out, you can like, okay, I'm going out for dinner with my friends. I need to answer a few messages first. And then boom, it's bricked until I step into my house again. And I think you can pay, or you get 5 unbricks for free. And then after that, you'd have to pay for each one, I guess.
Wow. I want it. I'm going to buy it. I need
seriously, you need it. I love it. It just like completely changed.
Especially for work. Like,
and then I go on Instagram. I like really mindfully like post what I need to post, go on my stories and do something, answer my messages. And then I just brick it. And I'm like,
well, and it's also just like what you said about like, oh, your client check-in is taking too long. So you just pick up your phone. Like you'll just become so much more aware of how often you just pick your phone up simply by just habit or routine. And then you get lost in this scroll doom, and then 20 minutes pass and then your focus is fucked and you're like, great.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I wonder how much time between check-ins I waste. Like, I'm like, it takes me so long to do all my check-ins. But really, I'm like spending 5 to 10 minutes between each one scrolling on my phone. And I'm just like, no. So highly
that's really
you can
smart.
Brick it from anywhere. So I could like put it in my car, for example, if I wanted to, like, because I'm in an apartment. So I'm like, it would only be useful if I was out of the apartment. You know what
honestly,
I mean? Or else I could just easily walk to the fridge.
But I had it on my fridge for a while, and even that was great because like when I'm at my desk, it's like by the time I get to my fridge and back, this check-in will be loaded, or whatever I'm doing will be loaded. And it just,
it'll definitely help with just those more like quick react, like, because you're going to be like, you're like, no, I don't want to go on Instagram. I'm not going to get up and go to my fridge and touch the thing, come back so I can scroll on Instagram for 2 minutes. So even just helping with those more like interruptions.
Yes.
Yeah, the gym would be so good for me because I always go in intention with I'm not going to go on my phone.
Same.
And I'm like,
yeah.
And then
I want an iPod Nano so that I can just have my like music in the gym. I know.
That's smart. Yeah, I sometimes leave my phone like in my cubby, but it's rare these days.
Yeah, so
that's good. Okay, cool. You've inspired me. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, it was a great buy. Loved having it, or I love having it. And even just like being out on the deck and like the reading part, then I'm like, I'm just going to leave my phone. Like, I don't even care. But I mean, I should do better with like texting people, but whatever. Sorry, anyone that tries to get a hold of me.
Even one of my clients with texting.
Yeah. One of my clients was like, I know you've turned your phone off for the night, so don't feel like you have to respond to this till tomorrow. I'm like, yes, love you.
That's good. That's good. That's boundaries. Okay, guys, should we get into it?
So maybe we'll just start off with like the foundation, which is the circadian rhythm. Help you guys understand that briefly, because we've had a few episodes not too long ago just about the circadian rhythm in general, but it really is the body's primary clock setter. So our body isn't magic. It doesn't know when to release certain hormones or do certain things just because it's smart. We do need to help it out a little bit. And so that's why it's so important. And we really preach like getting the morning sunlight and making sure we're not looking at our phone or our blue light right before we go to bed, because that will confuse your body's internal clock and then it's not going to know what to do. And so especially with our folks here down in Canada, as we start to move into the colder season where the sun is not always shining when we want it to be, it can be kind of confused on how you can support your body's internal clock, especially in the thick of winter here. We don't see sunlight sometimes until like 8:30 in the morning, and then it's gone at 4 p.m. So when a lot of us are already at work, and then by the time we get off, it's down. So we're hoping to kind of just help you guys understand some different ways and what we can do. And then even just going further into that, but just like what foods we can use to support our body, and the temperature increases and decreases like for a reason and for a purpose. And I think it's super easy as the seasons change to just like want to throw on coats and like want to wear t-shirts once it's get warmer. But our body and our immune system really do benefit from being in different temperatures and not always like
having
just
to regulate.
Yeah, fully protecting ourselves from them.
Yeah, and I think something that's important to remember too is like going off of what Lacey said is that it's happening for a reason. These cues from the light, these cues from the like it's getting darker, it's colder temperatures, and our almost automatic reaction is to get annoyed by it and think, ugh, like now I have to get my kids up in the dark or whatever. But it's meant to tell our bodies like we need more rest. We need warmer foods because it's cold outside. We need to like tuck into our houses a little bit more, and we're not meant to be outside as much and like eating these like fresh, uncooked, like raw veggies and foods like that. We need like the warmer ones for digestion. Our digestion does slow down in the wintertime when we don't have as much sunlight helping fuel that metabolism. So I think just like first getting in the mindset of, like how can I change my life with the seasons instead of how can I hold on to my routine every single day the same way for the rest of my life until I die? Because I've done that. I've been there. I felt like it was something I really struggled with, was like, but no, my routine is perfect right now and the sun's going to fucking set later. And then I'm going to, like, I would get so mad. But leaning into the fact that this is a time of rest. This is like all of us have this winter, like an inner winter, and we need to honor that a little bit, I think is a really great place to start.
Once again, to just really drill that in, it makes it so much more enjoyable for us in Canada and like the northern states. It's really easy to just be so upset with these changes and feel like so much resistance to it. But last winter was the first winter I really was like, okay, I'm going to like try to lean into this. And I still have that resistance because I just generally like the warmer months, but it just helps with your mental health in that way when you're less resistant to like changing that routine. So many different ways that we can change our routine, whether that is like dimming our lights earlier, nutrition, like we said. So I'll kind of talk about movement because that's something that I really, really struggle with. Something I love about the summers is that I can like go outside, I can walk at 8 p.m. and I don't have to worry about it being pitch black or like raining in Vancouver's case. And so that's one of the main things that I like have a lot of resistance to, but a really easy transition for me is just like leaning more into like, okay, I'm going to do more classes. I'm going to do more like resistance training because I can do that later at night. Right. And so doing more of those like indoor activities, it might not be your favorite, but you're still getting that activity. And maybe you're, instead of like walking outside all the time, which obviously we love, and you can still do that during the day, is like walking on the treadmill. And I think another piece that I want to add into with the movement is, as coaches, we hear, and as just ourselves in general, we hear a lot of resistance when it comes to like going outside when it's cold out and going for walks when it's raining or whatever that might be. But that's why we have good winter clothing. That's why we have good rain gear. You can still go outside even if it isn't warm out. And like Lacey, I think, was saying, is that exposure to the cold is really, really good for us. It doesn't mean you need to go outside in a t-shirt, but going outside, getting those walks in, getting that sunlight in, even if the clouds are out, is really, really beneficial and a good way to still get that vitamin D in the winter months. So that's what I would say just in terms of movement.
Yeah, great job. Love it. I want to talk a little bit about nutrition because I think it's such a cool topic. And this is a rabbit hole we could really go down. So like first and foremost, we all want to just be eating like nutrient dense whole foods as much as we can. But if you start looking into it and start like learning about the light, just as we always talk about how much light environment affects us, it also impacts plants and animals, and they carry the codes of light for where and when they grow. And our bodies are actually more able to break down certain foods at certain times of year. And the earth, our beautiful, glorious Mother Earth, also just so happens to grow those plants well at those same times of year. So like as we go into the fall and we're seeing things like squash and potatoes like really thrive, that's what our body also will be able to best break down. So just starting to like think of like, okay, pineapple isn't in season in Saskatchewan in December, and it is just going to be a little bit harder to break down. This doesn't mean that I personally avoid any specific fruits, but what I do try to do is include more of the ones that are seasonal at that time. I don't think you'll ever pry blueberries out of my cold dead hands at any season of the year, to be honest. But I think it's just about what more can I add? So what's really in season? It's going to give you the most nutrients for that warmth and fire in your digestive system that we really need in the winter. So like summertime, think hydrating fruits, lighter meals. We all like crave these things almost without even really knowing it. And then in fall and winter, it's like root vegetables, animal protein. So like soups and stews and chili, which I just think is so cool because you see people just naturally start to crave these and make them more. Like as soon as it was September 1st, I'm like, we're having stew tonight. It's like 30 degrees out. But yeah, this just helps our circadian rhythm because it's not just tied to light, it's also tied to food. And I guess our food is tied to our light. Like I said, it holds those codes, but this is just going to help with inflammation, help with just like the workload that our body has overall to nutritionally just kind of lean into those seasonal veggies. And there are websites and stuff you can even just like go look on. I'll see if I can find the one that I use, but it's like, what is seasonal in this region in this month? And it gives you like the top 10 foods to be eating, and then you just try to incorporate those in, and you don't have to be perfect, but I think it's just kind of cool to know these things.
And it really helps with your digestion too. And something I always relate it back to is it's so similar to what we talk about with like the different phases of our cycle, which I find really cool. So now it's like, okay, we're really leaning into that like internal winter. We're cold on the outside. We want to like take in warm things, have that like balance between the two.
Yeah, 100%. And then maybe I'll talk just a little bit about like light environment. We've kind of all touched slightly on it, but we talk a lot about that morning sunlight and getting as much sunlight in the morning as possible, which especially once it's like the thick of winter is really, really, really hard, if not impossible for especially us Canadians. So there's still things that you can do. I think the most important thing with circadian rhythm is just like having a schedule regardless and trying to stay on top of it. So staying consistent with your sleep and wake times will help regardless if you're still waking up when it's dark and going to sleep when it's dark. And also just as it does get colder, leaning into the fact that maybe we're supposed to sleep more in the winter and it's okay. And it's kind of taking that time to go a little bit more inward and do some more reflection and be with yourself. And it's okay to sleep more. There's lots of people that believe you should always go to sleep with the sunset and always wake up with the sunrise. And that's kind of how you have optimal health. Obviously, living in 2025, that's not possible for most of us, unfortunately. But just the consistency in the schedule and also just giving yourself kind of that permission slip that it's okay if you do sleep a little bit more or you're hanging out, kind of relaxing from the day once it is dark out. That is okay and it's allowed. And we get all of the interaction and community and connection and everything in the summer, sometimes too much. So it's nice to kind of just go internal, but there's definitely some things that you can do. You can invest in like a red light therapy, or there's like they call it the happy light. I don't know I think it's a Lux light that pretty much mimics the sunrise and the sunset. And so just watching, like you can look at those first thing when you wake up in the morning, getting some red light exposure, it does help. But also understand that just more time outside in general when it is daytime is always going to be a really good bet in the fall and in the winter. So getting morning sunlight as early as possible, or just getting sunlight or outside as early as you can when it is daytime is going to be beneficial, even if you can only do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. All of our lives look differently, but don't think just because, oh, I missed it when the sun first came up, like even if you go out an hour later, or even if you can get outside at your lunchtime, like there's so many different signals that our body picks up from being outside that will help it understand what time it is. So don't just think if it's not right in the morning or right before the sun sets, it's not going to be.
Yeah, and something beneficial. I just want to quickly add is people get so intense about this, but it's like, but it's foggy where I am, or it's and the sun's rays come through and your eyes picks them up no matter what. So I think it's something like on the cloudiest day there is, 80% of the rays are still making contact with your eyes. So I think this one person that I follow that talks a lot about circadian health, she's amazing. I'll have to, her name, because I forget, Carrie B Wellness, I think. She just calls it sunrise eyes. And whatever time of day it is, when you wake up, just go and look out a window or for 30 seconds, for 1 minute. Like anyone can do that. And I always say my little trick is to like brush your teeth with the window open, looking at the sun. Like it doesn't have to be a big thing, but I think just getting it out of your head that it has to feel sunny and it's morning sunlight. So if it's not a beautiful sunny day, I'm not getting it. But I like how she says sunrise eyes, because it just is like, okay, as long as the sun is rising and my eyes are kind of looking in that general direction, then you're getting those benefits.
Yeah. And I think in those cloudier days, it's just more motivation to like be outside for a little bit longer, because it just you'll still get it. It might take a little bit longer. If you can't be out there for 20 minutes, like don't start to overthink that, but you're still going to get those benefits.
Yeah. 100p, baby.
But just touching on what you said too, Lacey, about like after the summer and like wanting to like go to bed earlier, it's crazy. Once again, with our clients and myself, like the whole summer, they're like, I just want to get back into my routine. I just need to like be alone. And then the winter comes and then automatically you feel super unproductive and you give yourself a week. And it's just, once again, giving yourself that permission. Like this is a time to just like wind down, have those earlier nights. You don't feel like you need to be working till 8 p.m. because the sun is out till 8 p.m. And so we crave that for a reason. So allow your body to actually honor that, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a couple other things for light too. Like, honestly, I think one of the best investments that I've made is those circadian friendly bulbs from Healthy Home. I think we need to like, if you're going to do one thing, just like get some of those. I have them in like two different spots in my house. So our one set of kitchen lights and then my reading light at night. So when I wake up in the morning, I can turn a light on and it's not disrupting my circadian rhythm. The sun is still down. It's still dark. I can like, start doing my little morning routine. And then I have red lights in the bathroom. So this may have cost me $100 total. And it's just really helping so much if you can avoid the blue light as much as you can until you do see that sunrise. And whether that's by using some overhead lighting or wearing the blue light blocking glasses, it will just help a lot until you can kind of look at the sun. And maybe the first time you're looking at the sun is like when you drive to work and you roll your window down in the morning. I think those are
I do have a question about that, because there's so much conflicting information out there about whether we should be getting like use that blue light to our advantage in the winter to like start that cortisol awakening response if we're not getting that sunshine, so we can go to bed at a normal, you know what I mean? Have you heard like Huberman, for example, like all the advice he gives is like, you can view your like computer, you can get that, you really want to prioritize the sunlight. But if you're not, like getting that overhead light is beneficial for setting that cortisol awakening response. And so is there a reason why you're like, no, even if the sunrise is rising at 9 a.m., that's still when you want to get it if you're waking up at 6 a.m.? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think for me, it's because like the life that I have is very adaptable and I can shift my work schedule to align with it. So I can do that. I guess not everybody can. And if you can't, I would say like try to get red light before you get like, don't wake up and go blast your computer on. Like view that red light, your body's going to see that more similarly to a sunrise and like ease your way into it. I mean, Huberman probably knows more about it than I do, but if it were me, I would not be blasting blue light in my eyes first thing in the morning.
Well, he's not saying like look at your phone first thing, but it's like you can have your overhead lights on, but then at night you want to like turn off the overhead. And so that might be for just you saying like when people aren't as adaptable, all of our jobs allow us to like essentially do whatever we want. Not everyone has that. And so this might even be applicable for people that do like shift work too. Even like really prioritizing like no blue light at night. You know what I mean? And then that might be number one on the priority list. A little bit of a tangent, but I've always thought about that.
And like, I think if that were me, if like I had to be at work at like 7 every day, I'd probably be taking in a lot of red light in the morning. But then I don't know, you could watch the sunset on your drive to, or the sunrise on your drive to work, or maybe not. I guess maybe you get to work and it's still dark. Then I'd wear blue light blocking glasses and I'd make it a priority to get outside when the sun, that's what I would personally do. But it's not something that I've done a lot of digging into because I know what he means. Like you want that cortisol awakening response early enough.
Well, what's that happy light? Like what is,
I don't know.
That's not like blue light, is it? It's like a different.
I've never heard of that.
From what I know, it's like red light or the happy light is better. Oh, you've never seen those happy lights? They're kind of like the Hatch alarm clock, but it looks like a red light panel, but it's white light. And they pretty much say use it in the winter, like especially in Canada in the morning. So we'll have to do maybe a little research and let you guys know on that. But there's definitely, it's called the happy light. I know I've seen people using it before.
That's cool. But yeah, I mean, it just points to like how much our society has gotten away from like us getting to tune into the winter. It's like, well, too bad I have to be up and at work at 7 o'clock. And like, that's where we're all at, which is reality. But it's kind of a bummer that we can't just like take it slow. And like, we're meant to be like around the fire at night and like, you know, talking with our families and whatever. Like, that's what that darkness is meant to be. So I mean, yeah, something everyone has to, I think, really look at individually and take the time. I think this is a good moment to like, this is something I've just been sharing a lot lately, but like, it's okay and good to sit down for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. One of my clients actually just told me she used ChatGPT to like make her weekly schedule for her. And like, as the seasons change, just like to continue doing that. So she'll have like her wake up time and like what she does. And ChatGPT just she's like, I need to take supplements at this time. She put all of her information in and it gave her like this awesome weekly schedule. And I think we like back away or fear so much sitting down to plan stuff. I don't know if this is just me and Brett, but it's just like finding the time to like plan feels so like boring and grown up and annoying. But when we do it, we're like, wow, that took half an hour and it probably gave us 20 hours back of free time because we're not humming and hawing about dumb shit. So like taking the time to look at how your schedule changes. Do you even know when the sun rises and sets where you live? Maybe that's a good place to start.
Very true.
Amen. I actually just quickly Googled it and it says use a 10,000 lux light box in the morning to simulate bright daylight and fight seasonal circadian misalignment. So I think that's what the happy light is of. It's lux.
What is
L-U-X.
seasonal circadian misalignment? Because that sounds like a made up.
But you know what they're saying. Because like for people that need to wake up at whatever, 6 a.m. and they're not getting that awakening response till, let's call it like 9:30 sometimes when the sun is finally rising. And if you're working in an office job, like, you know, having those other ways to like stimulate that to just help support what you like, sometimes you just have to. And like you were saying, unfortunately, in this society, not
I know, I don't
everyone
know why
works from home.
I'm being a brat about it for some reason because I can't help it.
You're not being a brat. You're just trying to make people think that there's other options out there. And yeah, interesting though. I need to look into that happy light.
Yeah, it's cool. They even have ones where you can like wear them like sunglasses. I've like had friends that have them and you like put them on as sunglasses and the beam like goes right into your eye. Yeah, I can't believe neither of you heard of them, but
interesting. Well, yeah, I think just to summarize, I hope we gave you guys some good tips, but honestly, like the biggest thing is that allowing yourself to like wind down, really leaning into like the warmer foods, the earlier nights, and just giving yourself that time to rest is important. I know for me last year, I got to like February and I'm like, I'm fucking done resting. Like I'm ready to like, let's go. And then we still have another 2 months of it, but just really trying to like find other ways and like adapting your schedule and not just trying to like continue the same schedule. Yeah. Power through that schedule you had in middle of July into middle of November, because you're just going to end up feeling depressed.
Yeah. It's like puzzles, books, relaxing,
reading,
stew, soup, sleep.
Yeah. The 3 S's.
Sex.
4 S's.
No, I love that. Cool. Okay, team. Well, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you learned something. As always, if you haven't rated or subscribed to the podcast on one or all 3 platforms, please do so. Also, we're trying to make this show as best as possible for you guys. So feedback is helpful. I know it's always awkward to give people feedback, but we need it badly because we're trying to figure out what you guys like and what you guys don't like, but we don't actually talk to any of you that listen. So feel free to give us some insight on like, do you like our debrief at the start of the episode? How's the flow of the episodes? Do you guys like more learning? Do you wish there was more learning and less talking, or vice versa? But anyways, love you guys. We'll talk to you next week. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Wellness Effect. We're so grateful to be part of your wellness journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram for more tips, laughs, and real talk. We'll put all of our handles in the show notes. If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, slide into our DMs or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep creating your own wellness effect.